Today is September 25th, 2021, and I'm Bonita Tyes with the Westchester Chronicle, here with a recap of some of this week's events. On Tuesday, the Chester County Peace Movement held their annual rally at the old courthouse steps.
The UN General Assembly declared today as a day devoted to strengthening the ideals of peace through observing 24 hours of nonviolence and ceasefire across the world. Today, I think, is the 40th anniversary of the International Day of Peace. And the theme for this year is recovering better for an equitable and sustainable world. So the UN had some beautiful words that I'd like to share with you. And they said, we all know there is a lot of hatred right now, a lot of division, and a growing inability to really communicate with each other, to listen and to hear and to be open to what others have to say. The pandemic has been accompanied by a surge in stigma and discrimination, and this has only cost more lives instead of saving them. As we continue to confront this common enemy of humankind, we must be reminded that we are not each other's enemy. To be able to recover from the devastation of this pandemic, we must make peace with one another. And we must make peace with nature. Despite the travel restrictions and the economic shutdowns, climate change is not on pause, as we have all been seeing. We need a green and sustainable global economy that produces jobs, reduces emissions, and builds resilience to climate impacts.
Bringing PA Back is working with our local chambers and other statewide associations, including the Hospital Association and the Medical Society, to create equality of opportunity, because as we look at this, we know that we've left far too many people in this Commonwealth behind in terms of prosperity and creating better lives for themselves. One of the key pieces of what we're working on in Bringing PA Back is workforce development, which might sound limiting, but in fact is tremendously important and broad. I got to see how broad that is. This governor asked me to serve as one of the co-chairs of the Workforce Development Command Center. What we realized is there are significant barriers to employment for far too many people in this Commonwealth. Those are barriers such as inability to find appropriate child care, get transportation and go back and forth to work, and of course the fact that some have a criminal background. The reality is we know that a lot of prison reform comes about by creating equality of opportunity, by getting people careers and jobs that begin to get them back into where they can be proud of what they're doing for themselves and their family. It's one of the reasons why we supported what's called clean slate legislation, which blocks certain older convictions. There's no reason why a mistake you made 15 years ago should keep you from having a job today.
Yesterday, our field correspondent Riley Garrett sat down with the event organizer, Kevin Patrick Kelly, to discuss the event.
The Chester County Peace Movement was founded in 2002 in opposition to the war in Iraq. And we've been operating every Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon on the corner outside the old historic courthouse.
This was the first day of peace, and since the end of the war. What does that mean moving forward for your organization?
There are still wars that are being waged in our names overseas. It was even just this week that the United Nations published a very frightening report that said that 16 million people in Yemen are on the brink of starvation due to the Saudi blockade of the country and the bombing campaign that's going on there with the tacit support of the United States. Afghanistan is drawing to a close, supposedly, and that's progress. But as Malcolm X once said, you don't put a knife in a man's back 9 inches, pull it out 3 inches, and call that progress. There's still a lot of wars that still need to be ended overseas.
So the theme of this year for the International Day of Peace is recovering better for an equitable and sustainable world, right? So can you further explain that theme this year for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked about that, Riley. It's a theme that basically says that one of the old mottos that we have in the peace movement is that peace begins with me. And for those that may be a little too afraid or timid to organize, to demonstrate, to participate locally, we can always say that you always have something to give somebody in distress. You can loan them your ears to listen. You can loan them your eyes to see their pain. And you can always, see visibly, let them see your smile, to let them know that no matter what the world throws at you, you still have the ability to smile. Well, I really believe that you can only lead by example. How do you teach somebody how to love? How do you teach somebody how to be peaceful? You can use your example to show them how. Children and people are, I often say, mirrors with legs. They mirror the people around them. They mirror what other people around them do. And if we can create more examples of people who mirror love and mirror peace, then we will have a generation that knows how to practice peace before they practice war.
Last week, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board instituted a 2-bottle limit on certain items due to supply chain issues. In the email from Sean Kelly, press secretary of the PA Liquor Control Board, he explained that the restriction was not advertised, but there is signage in stores explaining the limit. The limit was put into place on September 17th and will last until the affected products are more readily available. Finally, COVID cases are again on the rise. At the last Borough Council meeting, Borough Council President Michael Gailey requested that Borough Manager Michael Perrone look into the rise in cases to determine what, if any, restrictions the Borough Council could put into place. What are your thoughts on what our government should do in response to the Delta variant? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please join us next time as we resume our coverage and live streams of local government meetings. Now, if you'd like to see us cover more meetings, events, or provide more information about things going on around town, please consider sponsoring our show via Patreon. Our goal is to make community-funded news and not have to rely on ads. And we will produce as much as we can with the budget you give us. So please like and share us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. It's the easiest way to support us and help us bring you the news. Finally, if you have a news tip, an event you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hi, you can reach us via email at westchesterchronicle@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Our program is produced by Crimson Planet Media and distributed by KeystoneDigital.tv. Our music is by Doug Keller. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you soon. Until then, I'm Bonita Tyes at the Westchester Chronicle.